Now, there are a ton of settings in Warzone Mobile, and it can be difficult to find the best ones. And instead of just telling you what the best settings are, because every player is different, we will be going over every single setting in Warzone Mobile so we can find the best settings for you. Starting off with the controls in the overview section, we have control sets. These are default HUD layouts you can pick from, and you can even go and customize any of them. You can also share HUD codes with other people, and also enter HUD codes to use other people's controls. Weapon trigger. Auto fire means your weapon will start firing whenever you lock onto an opponent, whereas manual fire means you have to press a button in order to fire your weapon. If you are new to the game, auto fire will be good for you to learn the basics, but if you're already experienced, turn this off. With auto fire, there's a delay between the time you lock onto an opponent and when your weapon actually starts firing. Custom means you can customize which guns will use auto fire and which ones you have to manually fire, and we'll go into this more in the next section. Automations has to do with anything the game automatically does for you, and in the gameplay section, we can see the individual automations. For example, you can auto pick up weapons, auto pick up a starter handgun, and even automatically equip a weapon when you pick it up. Weapon auto pickup options will automatically pick up weapons for you. Initial slots means you will automatically pick up the first 2 weapons you find, whereas priority means that if you are already holding 2 guns and you come across a third gun, if that third gun has a higher priority than the 2 guns you are already holding, the game will automatically pick up that third gun for you. For example, in this clip, I'm holding a marksman rifle and a pistol, and I come across an SMG on the ground. And because I set SMGs to have a higher priority than marksman rifles and pistols, the game automatically swapped out the pistol for the SMG. Personally, I prefer initial slots, but both options work. Turn to damage assist is a bit strange. It'll automatically turn your character towards wherever you are taking damage. I would go ahead and turn this off. But what you should turn on is auto pickup loot, which will automatically pick up stuff like ammo and armor plates, and this saves so much time. Auto mantle means you will automatically mantle over objects simply by running over them. Auto mantle any direction means you have more control over which way you auto mantle. And auto mantle sensitivity is how much you have to do in order to auto mantle. A low sensitivity means you have to run directly over the object to auto mantle it, whereas a higher sensitivity just means you have to move in the general direction of the object in order to auto mantle it. Turn this off because there's going to be times when you're in a gunfight and you're hiding behind cover, you don't want to automatically mantle over your cover and cause you to lose the gunfight. Parachute auto means you will automatically open your parachute whenever you are falling from a large height. Auto once means you will automatically open your parachute right before you hit the ground, and manual means you have to pull the parachute yourself. Turn on manual because it gives you a lot more control. Okay, I don't really know why there needs to be a button for climbing stairs, but there is. Definitely turn this off. Auto crouch will allow you to automatically crouch when going under obstacles. Turn this off as well. Turn corner assistance, another weird setting which is supposed to help you move around corners. Why do we even need this? Just turn that off as well. Auto equip armor first means you will automatically equip the first armor plate you find when you land. And turning it on, it means you will automatically equip armor plates whenever your shield isn't full and you have spare armor plates. Turn both of these off because you don't want to be equipping armor plates randomly. Virtual stick behavior. You can set it so that you will always sprint when you push your joystick up, or you can set it to analog, which will make you run faster the further you push your joystick up. This setting is personal preference, although analog will give you a bit more control. Sprint to stand means sprinting will cause you to stand up whenever you are in the crouch or prone position. Turn this on because imagine you are laying on the ground and suddenly you get shot at. Turning this off means you have to stand up first and then move your joystick, and it's just wasted time. Camera rotation mode has to do with your sensitivity. Fixed means the amount you rotate is simply based on how far you drag your finger, whereas accelerated means that the faster you drag your finger across the screen, the more you will rotate. Personally, I use fixed because I like a consistent aim, but I know a lot of aggressive players and also phone players prefer accelerated. ADS button rotation means you can rotate by dragging on the ADS button. This is good for 2 and 3 finger players, but turn it off if you play it with 4 or more fingers. This is because you probably already have a dedicated aiming finger, and you don't want to accidentally mess up your aim whenever you tap on the ADS button. Fire button allows rotation is the exact same thing, also good for 2 and 3 finger players, but not so much for 4 or more. Same exact thing for the throwback button. By the way, this button allows you to throw back grenades if they land next to you. Weapon mount movement exit means when you mount an object with your weapon, you can simply move away from the object with your joystick to stop mounting mounting it. Turning this setting off means you have to tap the mount button again to unmount, which is just wasted time. Now, if you turn this setting on, weapon mount exit delay is how long you have to move your joystick to exit the mount position. This is personal preference, so play around with it. Weapon trigger again has to do with the auto fire setting we talked about earlier. You can choose which weapon classes you want to have auto fire turned on and off for, or you can turn auto fire on or off for all weapon classes. Auto fire on objects can be customized to tell the game whether you want to auto fire only on enemies or also on objects like cars. If you do use auto fire, this setting is a personal preference. Auto fire range limiter will limit how far away auto fire works. If you use auto fire, turn this on because you don't want to be holding a pistol and then the game starts auto firing at someone halfway across the map. Single shot fire behavior, you can either tap the fire button to fire or hold down and then release the fire button to fire. And this setting can be customized for shotguns, sniper rifles, and launchers. Aim down sights when firing is good for 2 and 3 finger players because it will automatically scope your weapon in whenever you are firing. However, if you use 4 or more fingers, turn the setting off because sometimes you don't want to scope in and you want to hip fire instead. Snap ADS fire button to finger will automatically move the fire button to wherever your shooting finger is. For now, turn this off because for some reason it doesn't seem to be working, as you have to double tap the screen, one tap to snap the ADS button to your shooting finger and another tap to actually start firing your weapon. Aim down sight behavior, either tap the ADS button to scope in and tap again to scope out, or hold the ADS button to scope in and release it to scope out. Most people will use the tap option, but if you use 5 or more, you might want to consider using the hold option. This next setting has to do with focusing. Weapons in Call of Duty tend to sway in different directions when you are ADS, and this is especially a problem when sniping. Focusing causes your character to hold their breath, which will make your aim a lot more steady. Now with focus behavior, you can either automatically focus when you scope in, tap the focus button to focus and tap again to unfocus, or hold the focus button to focus and release it to unfocus. In my opinion, use toggle, but auto might also be a good option. Auto melee will cause your character to automatically punch or knife enemies when you get within range. Again, this is personal preference. Sprinting door bash means you will be able to open doors by sprinting through them, although this will cause a really loud noise. Turn this on because there are going to be times when you want to sprint through a doorway, for example if you're being chased or if you want to rush a building, and you can always still open the door like a regular person by using the door button. Forced reload means you can't stop reloading once you start, and turning it off means you can cancel a reload with certain actions such as switching your weapon. And sprint only means you can cancel a reload but only by sprinting. Definitely turn this setting off because you want to be able to cancel a reload in case an enemy rushes you. Force equipping armor is the exact same thing, but for using armor plates, and there is no sprint only option. Again, turn this off. Equip all armor plates means tapping the armor plate button once will keep using armor plates until you either fill your shield or you run out of armor plates. And having this off means you have to tap the armor plate button each time to equip a single armor plate. If you choose equip all, make sure you turn off force equipping armor so that you can quickly stop equipping armor plates in case someone rushes you. Aim assist is pretty obvious, it helps you aim. Definitely turn this on. Vehicles can either be controlled by arrow buttons or a joystick. I used to use the arrow buttons, but after I tried joystick, it's kind of growing on me. Gyroscope allows you to tilt your device in real life to help you aim, as opposed to just swiping on your screen to aim. Now honestly, this is one of the settings that really improved my gameplay, as it gave me another way to lock on and track enemies. If you play on a phone, you might want to actually turn this on and learn how to use gyroscope, but if you're on a tablet, this probably isn't that smart, unless you're me.
Damn, I'm so good.
Outlines will highlight players, and you can customize whether teammates or enemies will be highlighted, and for battle royale or multiplayer. Now onto the interface settings. Left fire display adds a second fire button to the left side of your screen, which can be useful depending on how you play. Fire buttons while auto fire means you can enable or disable the fire buttons even if you have the auto fire setting turned on. And I would turn this on because it gives you a little bit more control even if you use auto fire. Show ammo means you can have your ammo count separate from your weapon slot, or you can have it show directly inside your weapon slot. And this can be customized for both Warzone and multiplayer. Hit marker display means you will see a marker every time you hit an enemy or an object like a vehicle, and you can also customize the size and the transparency of this marker. Auto sprint lock means you will be able to push your joystick up so that your character will automatically sprint, and I have this turned on. Change stance merged means you will tap the stance button to crouch and hold it to go prone, whereas split means you will have a separate button for crouching and a separate button for proning. Now the thing here is that having split buttons means that proning and getting up will be a little faster, but it does mean you now have an extra button on your screen. The choice is yours. Fixed joystick means your joystick will stay in place, and having this off means the joystick will follow your finger. I personally use fixed. Invert camera will invert your horizontal and vertical rotations. I don't think anyone in the history of mobile gaming has ever used this, so just turn it off. Resupply alert will alert you anytime your ammo or shields are low, and reload cancel alert will alert you anytime you cancel your reload. And in-game tutorial tooltips will just give you little tips in-game. Then there's the sensitivity settings, which are pretty self-explanatory, but I do want to explain a couple important ones. You can change your horizontal aim sensitivity, and then you can separately change your vertical aim sensitivity. Most people will keep their vertical sensitivity multiplier to 1.0 to match their horizontal sensitivity, but I like to keep my vertical sensitivity less than my horizontal sensitivity, because in-game, you can look 360 degrees all around you, but you can only look 180 degrees up and down. So play around with it and find your perfect sensitivity. Global ADS sensitivity multiplier will allow you to change all your sensitivities at the same time. ADS sensitivity per zoom means you will have a different sense for each different scope, and turning this off means that all your sensitivities will be the same. Definitely turn this on because you want to be able to customize your sense for every scope in the game and have more control. ADS sensitivity transition is actually pretty simple. It's just how quickly you go from your regular sensitivity to your ADS sensitivity. Instant means you switch to your ADS sensitivity as soon as you tap the ADS button. After zoom, it means you will switch to your ADS sensitivity after you fully scope in. And gradual means that when you tap the ADS button, you will gradually switch from your regular sensitivity to your ADS sensitivity. Wow, I have said sensitivity a lot in this video. After that, in the graphics settings, we have visual quality, which is your graphics. Lower graphics means the game will look worse, but it will run a lot smoother and your device won't overheat as much, whereas higher graphics means the game will look a lot nicer, but your game may suffer performance-wise and your device will overheat more. Now, usually you would optimize for frames, but you can also optimize the performance of your game towards your battery, which means the game won't run as smoothly, but your battery will last longer and your device won't overheat as much. High-res asset streaming just means the game will use more cellular data in order to produce higher resolution graphics. Max frame rate / FPS is how smooth the game will look. Higher FPS means smoother gameplay. Right now, I run the lowest graphics I can and the highest FPS I can. Typically, there's a trade-off between graphics and FPS, but I personally care more about winning than making the game look nice, and frames win games. FOV is how much you can see around you. I set mine to the max, which is 90, but you might find that a lower FOV will actually improve the performance of your game because now you don't have to render as many objects on screen. The rest of the settings are pretty basic and don't really need an explanation. If this video helped you out, then hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.